G'day, it's Telfo, and we're in beautiful Shepparton to present the 2022 Milwaukee Street Machine of the Year trophy. Our winner is Jasmine Green. Now she's working down the road at Maskell's Customs and Classics. We've got Jazzy's parents, the fiance, and a bunch of mates here, and the dog. We're going to sneak into the workshop and give her one hell of a surprise. Here we go. Morning, Jazzy. Morning, Greg. Hello, how are you? We brought a few friends. Come on in, everybody. Congratulations.
Thank you. Oh my God.
You've won Milwaukee Street Machine of the Year for 2022 and a $20,000 check. Brought Mum and Dad and everybody along.
Do I have to drink out of this? Congratulations.
You can.
Hi, my name's Jasmine. This is my 1991 Toyota HiLux and I just won Milwaukee Street Machine of the Year. So I work at Maskell's Customs and Classics. We build hot rods and street machines, customs and classics really. And yeah, I'm the trimmer here, apprentice trimmer. I'm still an apprentice, almost qualified. So my boss Greg, he tricked me today. We were convinced that there were these people coming to film for VACC and I didn't think anything of it. And so I brought my truck in because he said to, because that was part of the filming process, and then yeah, you guys surprised me with this trophy and I was in shock. Couldn't stop shaking. I don't know, I'm still in shock. Once I knew I was nominated, people started sharing it on social media, like all my friends and things, and they were very supportive. And I spoke to Chad and he gave me a few tips on just posting every day and and I just drove it a lot and just showed what it can do. Did a burnout, which was good fun, and it actually went really well. It was surprised how well it handled. Driving to Adelaide, towing with it, doing what I built it to do really, and seems that people like that. So the reason I got into cars was I needed a ute to carry my dirt bike around, and my partner had a HiLux and it was purple. I thought it was pretty cool. So I was on the look for a HiLux as well and came across this one. It was pretty ratty when I got it. It was my first car just made it look somewhat respectable, got it on the road, and what made me want to modify it was just being involved in the mini truck scene, being around all these cool bag trucks, and mine was static back then, and I wanted to learn how to bag it and how everything worked. So just did it bit by bit. First up, just got it bagged. It was pretty much stock body, just bagged, and then I wanted to, what did I do? I wanted to change the front end because I really liked the Gen 3 Surf front end. It hadn't really been done to a 90s HiLux at that stage before, and to get one of them was really hard. So actually, when I went to America, I found the parts over there, I chopped them up, brought them back in a suitcase, and then joined them all back together. And I think the front guard's made up of about 7 pieces, just a combination of the 90s and the Gen 3 Surf front. And anyway, after I did the front end, it was actually longer, so the proportions were off. So to extend it, it was easier to start with a longer wheelbase chassis, so I extended the chassis, built a new chassis for it, extended the tub that was there, and the skins that are on it, I got them from America as well. The body line came from America, and I chopped that up, put it in the suitcase, and brought that back and welded it in. While I was doing all that, I was cutting it up, needed to repaint it again, so I might as well body drop it, which is where you cut the seals, like the cab around the seals, and then you drop the cab over the chassis and then fabricate new seals. So I did all of that, and while I was doing that, I did remake the firewall. So I was remaking the firewall and had a new chassis, put the LS in it. So I got a whole VUSS ute that was smashed in the front for pretty cheap. And I just made pretty much everything work from that. Used the wiring loom, the drive line, and every bit that I could to make it easier. So it pretty much thinks it's a Commodore. Like, hit the key, this Commodore key, and it'll, the lights will flash to lock it, and yeah. Yeah, well, when I started, I kind of knew how to rebuild dirt bike engines, and this had the 22R, which was the 4-cylinder, and I think it did about 3 head gaskets and 2 engines, and I was just sick of it. But in doing that, like, I kind of learned how to work on the car, and then I wanted to learn how to weld, so I started, shaving the door handles and all your usual mini trucker stuff, and learned how to do that. And at some stage, yeah, I learned how to paint it. The first time I painted it wasn't very good, but I think it was silver for a while, and I painted it silver maybe 3 times, and then I was sick of painting it silver. Because, I kept chopping it up, that's why I had to keep painting it. And then I ended up painting it that green. And now I've painted it that green twice, because I painted it again before Summernats, because it had a heap of dints and, chips and things. And yeah, doing the wiring, learned how to just do the wiring, like integrating that Commodore loom. The chassis work, learnt a lot about like suspension geometry and setting all that up. My partner, he owns Waz's Fabrication, and he's a boiler maker by trade, and he's got quite a good knowledge on that sort of work. So he showed me, how to set it up, but I did all the welding on the chassis. Yeah, made all the cross members, and then I wanted to learn how to trim. So I found it really hard to sort of learn without doing a trade, although in the end I pretty much taught myself with YouTube. Because of COVID, I wasn't able to attend trade school, and being the only trimmer at Maskell's, like, it was quite tricky. So I did the whole interior through my apprenticeship. So that's pretty much ticked off all the modules there, and I'm almost signed off. I'm just waiting on the certificate. And I've also learned what goes hand in hand with trimming now is 3D design and print. So I've started towards the end just sort of making, covers and just this and that to, clean it up, just finish it off. I wish sort of from the start I had had that knowledge, because I could have made more things, 3D design and print, but on the next build I hope to use more of that technology. Yeah, I've driven this car a lot, pretty much all throughout the build. It was pretty much finished, and then I'd drive it, to usually East Coast Cruise. That's like the big mini truck show up in Jindabyne. Before that, I drove it to even Tasmania. It's been there, up in Maxville, which is north of Port Macquarie. Drove it there, and recently I've been to Adelaide to pick up my puppy Balto. Yeah, that was good. I just love driving it. You got to build them to drive and enjoy them. That was the whole plan with this. It was never really meant to be a show car. I was never going to show it, but there was a point where I realised, oh shit, I've kind of done a lot to this. I might as well show it, and yeah, I'm glad I did. With the $20,000, which is, a huge amount of money. I don't think I've ever seen that much money. I'll put most of it back into the car, I think, because it is a budget build. Like, I only spent money where it was completely necessary. So it would be good to refresh this tired old LS and build maybe my other one, which cracked a piston, build that, maybe, I don't know, keep it NA, but put a cam in it and stuff, and just make it reliable for towing. Still doesn't have power steering, because that was going to be, I need to put a steering rack in it, and that's quite expensive, so I'd like to do that at least. They're the main 2 things, but it'd be good to put some money to get a head start on my next build, which is a 1964 Toyota Stout. the whole competition for Milwaukee Street Machine of the Year was, yeah, it was hard to compete with. Like, there were some really nice cars and really, yeah, strong builds that I didn't think it would stand a chance, really. But I did try, because I knew if I didn't try, you know, I'd hate myself for it. But yeah, surprised it won. Very.